Roman numeral 4. Transformation. Decondition. Position. Everyone is the result of four forces. The conditions of this known universe, parenthesis, matter, slant, energy, forms, and ceaseless change, end parenthesis, the biology of his or her species, individual genetic heritage, and the culture one is born into. Within this web of forces, there are certain spaces and loops that allow to some persons the experience of inner freedom and illumination. The gradual exploration of some of these spaces constitutes evolution, and for human cultures, what history could increasingly be. We have it within our deepest powers not only to change ourselves, but to change our culture. If humans are to remain on Earth, they must transform the 5 millennia long urbanizing civilization tradition into a new, ecologically sensitive, harmony-oriented, wild-minded, scientific, spiritual culture. Quote, wildness is the state of complete awareness. That's why we need it. Situation. Civilization, which has made us so successful a species, has overshot itself and now threatens us with its inertia. There is also some evidence that civilized life is not good for the human gene pool. To achieve the changes, we must change the very foundation of our anxiety and our minds. Goal. Nothing short of total transformation will do much good. What we envision is a planet on which the human population lives harmoniously and dynamically by employing various sophisticated and unobtrusive technologies in a world environment that is left natural. Specific points in this vision. A healthy and spare population of all races, much less in number than today. Cultural and individual pluralism, unified by a type of world tribal council. Division by natural and cultural boundaries rather than arbitrary political boundaries. A technology of communication, education, and quiet transportation, land use being sensitive to the properties of each region, allowing thus the bison to return to much of the high plains. Careful but intensive agriculture in the great alluvial valleys, deserts left wild for those who would live there by skill, computer technicians who run the plant part of the year and walk along with the elk in their migrations during the rest. A basic cultural outlook and social organization that inhibits power and property seeking while encouraging exploration and challenge in things like music, meditation, mathematics, mountaineering, magic, and all other ways of authentic being in the world. Women, totally free and equal. A new kind of family, responsible but more festive and relaxed, is implicit. Action. Social political. It seems evident that there are throughout the world certain social and religious forces that have worked through history toward an ecologically and culturally enlightened state of affairs. Let these be encouraged. Gnostics, hip Marxists, Teilhard de Chardin Catholics, Druids, Taoists, biologists, witches, yogins, bhikkhus, Quakers, Sufis, Tibetans, Zens, Shaman, Bushmen, American Indians, Polynesians, anarchists, alchemists. The list is long. Primitive cultures, communal and ashram movements, cooperative ventures. Since it doesn't seem practical or even desirable to think that direct bloody force will achieve much, it would be best to consider this change a continuing revolution of consciousness, which will be won not by guns, but by seizing the key images, myths, archetypes, eschatologies, and ecstasies, so that life won't seem worth living unless one's on the side of the transforming energy. We must take over science and technology and release its real possibilities and powers in the service of this planet, which, after all, produced us and it. More concretely, no transformation without our feet on the ground. Stewardship means, for most of us, find your place on the planet, dig in, and take responsibility from there. The tiresome but tangible work of school boards, county supervisors, local foresters, local politics, even while holding in mind the largest scale of potential change. Get a sense of workable territory, learn about it, and start acting point by point. On all levels, from national to local, the need to move towards steady-state economy, equilibrium, dynamic balance, inner growth stressed must be taught. Maturity, diversity, climax, creativity. The community. New schools, new classes, walking in the woods and cleaning up the streets. Find psychological techniques for creating an awareness of self that includes the social and natural environment. Consideration of what specific language forms, symbolic systems, and social institutions constitute obstacles to ecological awareness without falling into facile interpretations of McLuhan. We can hope to use the media. Let no one be ignorant of the facts of biology and related disciplines. Bring up our children as part of the wildlife. Some communities can establish themselves in backwater rural areas and flourish. Others can maintain themselves in urban centers, and the two types can work together. A two-way flow of experience, people, money, and homegrown vegetables. Ultimately, cities may exist only as joyous tribal gatherings and fairs to dissolve after a few weeks. Investigating new lifestyles is our work, as is the exploration of ways to explore our inner realms, with the known dangers of crashing that go with such. Master the archaic and the primitive as models of basic nature-related cultures, as well as the most imaginative extensions of science, and build a community where these two vectors cross. Our own heads are where it starts. Knowing that we are the first human beings in history to have so much of our past cultures and previous experiences available to our study, and being free enough of the weight of traditional cultures to seek out a larger identity, the first members of a civilized society since the Neolithic, to wish to look clearly into the eyes of the wild and see our selfhood there, our family there. We have these advantages to set off the obvious disadvantages of being as screwed up as we are, which gives us a fair chance to penetrate some of the riddles of ourselves and the universe, and to go beyond the idea of human survival or survival of the biosphere, and to draw our strength from the realization that at the heart of things is some kind of serene and ecstatic process that is beyond qualities and beyond birth and death. No need to survive. In the fires that destroy the universe at the end of the Kalpa, what survives? The iron tree blooms in the void. Knowing that nothing need be done is the place from which we begin to move.